A fashion school tale of romance, friendship, and creative ambition set in the world of the Paradise Kiss universe. Is it going to be a worthy ancestor? Well, let's sit back and find out, shall we? Hello and welcome to an episode of the Spiraken Manga Review. I'm your host, Zan, saying konnichiwa, aloha, bonjour, noel, what's up? Hope you're doing good and hope you're excited for another fun-filled episode of this awesome podcast you can find at www.spiraken.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and various other social media sites. Just type in SPIRAKN in your search bar and I'll guarantee you find us one way or the other. And if you are watching on YouTube, remember to like, share, subscribe, and click on that bell for notification for when we release new episodes of this awesome podcast. And I'm excited because we are talking about a manga that is the prequel to one that we talked about all the way back in episode 8 of this podcast. That's over 16 years ago we talked about the original series. So actually, let's get to it and see if this is a noteworthy successor or actually addition to this story. Because if you remember from that last episode, I spun that one that only the Wheel of Manga, and it dictated to be there reviewing a manga that was written by that one that only Ai Yazawa, the great shojo and josei writer that has created one of the most fashionable and popular series of all time, known as Nana. This was published by Shueisha, but released over here by Viz Media after so long. This was released in Ribbon magazine, and it is a shojo title. This originally ran in 1995 to 1997. There are 7 volumes. It is being released over here as Omnibuy, and there's going to be 3 of them. So only 3, that's all we get, but it's going to be stretched out really well. And I've got to admit, we'll talk about the design for this manga when we get to it. But the series is complete. It is a coming-of-age romance slice-of-life series, and the original title was Gokinjo Monogatari, but in English it is known simply as Neighborhood Story. A neighborhood story is a story of friends, neighbors, and fashion world in general. And you're probably like, well, fashion? What the hell are you talking about? Well, let's actually get to it, because this is the story of 2 neighbors by the name of Mikako Koda and Tsutomu Yamaguchi. They lived in the same apartment building for 16 years, and they are best friends. They've never separated, and the thing is that, ironically, Mikako, he is a guy who girls have always thought was cute because he has the name of a singer from all the way back in their childhood, and now he currently looks like a very popular singer. So everyone loves this guy, but Tsutomu is kind of like, oh, you're just my idiot monkey friend. And she's a weirdo to begin with because she is someone who is unique, odd, and strange, and she keeps moving forward, doing her best in the moment, and she is, like I said, a little bit weird. And they both go to a very prestigious school, a very unique school. We're talking about well, let me get the official title. I don't want to say the one that I remember, but it is the Yazawa Art Academy, or Yaza Academy for short. Obviously, Ai Yazawa is the creator for this, which is kind of funny. I love the fact that she put her name as the school, but this is a fashion and design school that has 4 different tracks that you could follow. And obviously, you have Tsutomu is in the fashion track. She is a fashion designer and wants to create really cool things. Meanwhile, Mikako is in the design portion of it. He does visual design. And she's pretty good at this. Let's be honest. She's really fast. She's the first one done. And her teacher thinks she's like, whoa, you're the first one done. Great job. But this stitching is horrible. Do it again. And Mikako is constantly the person who stays behind. She's that last girl who's there till the end because she has to remake things. But her designs are inspired and unique. And for those of you who don't like fashion design, this is not the crux of the story. This is just the set dressing, we'll say. And like I said, they both live in a apartment complex that they've been together for 16 years. They're best friends, and they know the ins and outs of each other. They've cared about each other for years. Even though she doesn't get what's going on, they're constantly butting heads. They have this kind of sibling rivalry, but that's not what's going on. The actual premise is that she's like, oh, he's such a weirdo. All the girls like him. I don't understand why. And she doesn't realize that the only person that Mikako has eyes for is her. and she doesn't get it because all these girls throw themselves at him, and he's constantly having girls invite themselves over. And he's kind of a playboy, but he's not doing anything with them. And then, of course, whenever she wants to sulk, she ends up going to their school friend Toru's house. Now, the cool thing is that he is someone kind of important because he is the father of a main character from Paradise Kiss, which is really cool. And he's their older senpai who was like, if they're the 5-year-olds at the complex, he's like the 10-year-old. He owns his own bar, and they come by constantly to hang out, and he is the mediator between these two who are constantly fighting. And it's just usually business as usual until someone new shows up. A girl who is called Bodikun. Well, her name is Mariko, and she is the most popular girl at school and has had tons of boyfriends, but she finds something interesting in Ken-san, aka Mikako. And what happens is, because she's interested in him, this leads to a crisis of faith for Tsutomu, because she's like, oh, it's fine, he can have any girlfriend he wants, but she's starting to get jealous. And meanwhile, Mikako's like, oh, well, you know what, you're just a Ganguru girl, I don't need to deal with you. And because he doesn't care about her, could see through her bullshit, she ends up liking him at first. But then she realizes they're not meant for each other, but this leads to a hilarious issue of who likes who cares about who, what's going on, back and forth. Also, there is a cat involved who gets adopted by them, and they like joint custody, and then it gets even more complex as the relationship aspect starts. Also, as the year goes by and as the manga goes by, they end up part of a unique club called Aikindo, which is a group that it's a bunch of people who want to come together to design things and then sell them under their own label, which means that, for example, Tsutome's best friend, Risa, wants to create children's clothes, and that's her whole thing. Also, fun fact, her boyfriend's mother is the mother of George from Paradise Kiss. Another little connection between the two, which is kind of cool. There's a lot of little things here and there that they connect each other and going back and forth. But there's other characters as well. You have the loli obsessed P-chan, who's known as Mai. You have the one guy who joined the group named Yosuke, who the whole reason why he joined is because he has feelings for Mariko, and he's kind of there, but he also has a little bit of feelings for Tsutomu as well. It's kind of like he bouncing the field, but he's got a good heart. So you have this motley crew that are connected together, and they're doing the best they can in this series. Just like with Paradise Kiss, where it's a group of people who have a found family, this is the same premise. This is an earlier version of this, where it's a group of individuals find a found family and also grow up and also deal with the romantic intricacies of high school. And what's going to happen is Tsutomu and Mikako are going to get together. Do they care about each other? What is going to occur? Well, you have to wait and find out as this goes on. But this series is one of those ones where it is actually really addictive, and it's one of those mangas that I'm not going to lie, you are definitely going to want to just peek at, because let me just show you the actual release for this. This is the English release, and it is huge. I'm not going to lie, Viz did a great job with this. First off, the French doors are actually cut in a way where it looks like clothing from fashion design. You have that. Next, the opening pages are in color, and they are not just cheap color. That's the original cover for the first volume of the series. And then, this is a great designed, and it's the first 3 volumes. You also have an entire section which is just gallery images of just Ai Yazawa having fun. Also, more importantly than that, the funniest part is, when you finish the first story arc, which is involving Mikako and Mariko, Bodikun, when you get past that part, it goes to the graduation of the first year. They're done for the first year. It was really quick. And the principal shows up. And who is the principal of Yazawa School of the Arts? Well, it's none other than Ai Yazawa. It's like, and he says, Ai Yazawa, this person has no legal difference from the creator, but it's fun to put yourself in books, whatever you want. She had fun with this. And that's one of the best parts, is when you have a mangaka who has fun inserting themselves and doing something really great with this. This is a very multi-layered story. It is not just the standard boy likes girl, that's it. There's more going on, and every character is unique. Example, like in Skip to Loafer, which I never went further into that, but that series, they actually break up. Slight spoilers, but it's been a couple of years. They break up, but the way that they do it is very amicable. This is the same way, where you have characters break up, but the way they do it is mature, and it's not just the, I'm breaking up with you, and then they're gone forever. It's just horrible. It's just this isn't working out. We need to just accept this so we can be friends. And I like that about this. Also, the designs, as usual, because this is Ai Yazawa, are on point. Just one good example. Where is the graduation image? Hold on one sec. I should have had it just labeled, but I did not. Here it is. So here's Ai Yazawa, and look at these designs. Look at that. The designs are on point. They are peak Ai Yazawa. This is before Nana and before Paradise Kiss, and she is honing her skills. I'm surprised she never had a fashion collaboration with someone, because her work is exceptional. She probably has, and I haven't noticed. If she has, let me know. Email me, zanspiraken.com, and let me know your thoughts. But this is a story that is fully nuanced. Greta couldn't put it down. She actually wanted to be in this episode, but for reasons she couldn't be in this episode, and also she couldn't figure out what clothing for me to put on that would be funky enough, because this is a story about Happy Berry, which is Tsutomu's design company, where they're like, this is the weirdest name for your company ever, but it's kind of cool. So anyway, I'm getting off topic. So long story short, what do I think about this manga? The art style is exceptional, because Ai Yazawa's is greatly done, and is one of the best shoujo styles you have out there, even though the guys look really, really tall and really thin. Second, how's the story? The story is compelling. We have a duotagonists, and it eventually becomes multiple protagonists, and each one you are compelled to like and care about. Even when we get to the stories about Mariko Bodikun, her whole reasons for why she's doing what she's doing is really unique, but also really sad. Like why she's bouncing from guy to guy, and then when she finally comes into her own and is like, I'm gonna believe myself and do what I can, you're like, oh no, that's so horrible what happens. So I'm not gonna spoil it, but the story's great, character design is great, and more importantly, the production quality of this is fantastic. The price point is a little expensive. It's $25. So unless you have some sort of like a membership at Barnes & Nobles where you get the 10% off, or you have something else, this is going to be an expensive manga. But this is quality manga. This is one you want to have on your shelf, because they've put so much love into this. This is a great 3-in-1, and like I said, where else are you going to see something like this? You're really not. Just the design work looks great, and you got to give thanks to the designer. So for that reason, I'm going to have to give this, again, our second highest rating of Borrow from a Friend and Don't Return Unless Offered Pocky. It's really good, and if you're into romance, if you're into fashion, if you're into a compelling story, you're going to love this. If you are not into any of this, if you are into violence, action, sports, yeah, nope, not at all. This one, I don't think a lot of you are going to be into, but I suggest giving it a chance, especially if you like Nana. And if you've never read Nana, read Nana. And if you've never read Paradise Kiss, read Paradise Kiss. These are amazing stories that are so well done and so nuanced. And they have so many great elements to them which make you want to read them more. And these are ones that you could theoretically share with non-manga fans. Well, later on in the series, the beginning is very formulaic, very, oh no, there's a stalker in the neighborhood. Oh no, where's Satome? We need to find her. Type of situation where she just fell asleep for reasons. But before I forget, let's get to the random question of the week, and that is going to be, would you purchase from Tsutomu's Happy Berry label if you were into it? And I gotta admit, her designs are not terrible. I don't think they're great, but personally I would not, because I'm not a fashionista person. The only reason why I have good clothes is, well, because of Greta. Otherwise, I'd be probably wearing t-shirts and, flannel shirts. Well, actually, this is a more modern t-shirt and flannel shirt, but let's be honest. So with that in mind, let's actually get to the manga releases for the week, because we've got some crazy ones, some amazing ones, and some which are just kind of insane. So the first one we're starting off with is one which I was kind of shocked we got, which is A Condition Called Love, Volume 9. Next we had, as a reincarnated aristocrat, I'll use my appraisal skills to raise in the world. That's Volume 11. Then we have Drugstore in Another World, The Slow Life of a Cheat Pharmacist, Volume 9. Then Gravitation Collector's Edition Volume 2. This is volumes 6 to 9. This is when things get really weird and strange for Shuichi and Yuki. More importantly, I think this is the volume when Shuichi tries to mail himself to Yuki in New York by going through TSA dressed up as a luggage. If you've not read the Gravitation or listened to our review, it is on point and amazing. I think we reviewed this all the way back in episode... it's been a while, so I'm going to say episode... Gravitation was all the way back in 164, so it's been a while. But worth checking out, definitely. But next, we have Healer for the Shadow Hero, Volume 2. I See Your Face Turned Away, Volume 2. I Swear I Won't Bother You Again, Volume 5. I'll Never Be Your Crown Princess Betrothed, Volume 1. Origin, Volume 5. Peerless, or actually let me do the full thing. It is Peerless Wu Shuang, the novel, Volume 1. Then we have Seraph of the End, Guren Ichino's Catastrophe at 16, Volume 5. Sodome Milky Way, Another End, Volume 10. This is an alternate ending to Sodome Milky Way. They're copying Bokuben in a pretty weird way. The Great Cleric, Volume 10. The Summer You Were There, Volume 5. Though I'm an Inept Villainess, Tales of the Butterfly Rat Body Swap in the Maiden's Court Light Novel, Volume 7. 3 Exorcism Siblings, Volume 2. Witch Hat Atelier Kitchen, Volume 4. And last but not least, Yakuza Reincarnation, Volume 10. So these are the mangas for the week. Which were the one you were most excited about? Let me know. Email me, zanspiraken.com, or leave a comment down below on which one you like the most. And more importantly, which of these would you like to see me put on that one, not only the Wheel of Manga for me to review? Let me know. And with that in mind, let's just get to my favorites of this week. The ones I'm rooting for the most are going to be Gravitation Collector's Edition Volume 2, because I like Gravitation a lot. I'll Never Be Your Crown Princess Betrothed, Volume 1. Sodome Milky Way, Volume 10, Another End. 3 Exorcism Siblings, Volume 2. And Witch Hat Atelier Kitchen, Volume 4. It's kind of a mixed week this week. There's nothing really that stands out. But these are some unique sequel series that are kind of fun and different. I know from what I was looking at my notes, next week is going to be crazy because we've got 3 really strong candidates for some great things. And we've got some that are just, wow, I did not expect them to come out, but I'm excited to get them. And one was not even on my radar, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to buy it. But I digress. So with that in mind, let's actually get to the other part, which is, well, let's go to it. And before we go any further, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for checking out this podcast. Every email I get, every comment I get, every new subscriber gives me more motivation to keep doing this podcast, and I love doing this. I want to keep doing this till I'm an old man who has to read manga with thick glasses and large print, so thank you so much for letting me do that. And tell your friends about this. Like, share, subscribe, let me know, send me emails, send me comments. I love reading comments and answering them. I actually have 2 comments, which one of them is actually creating a conversation podcast I'm going to be doing in a couple of weeks, which is going to be a blast. So we're going to see how that goes. But anyway, my voice is sounding better from COVID. I still have that little bit of wheeze, but we're getting there. Anyway, so with that in mind, let's actually get to the part that you have all been waiting for. And what are we talking about? We are talking about that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga! Yes, friend, the Wheel of Manga, except no substitute. Now, what is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a Wheel of Fortune with 10 slots on it. And what I've done is I've assigned a manga title to each of the 10 slots. So we're going to spin the wheel. Whatever number it lands on, the manga that's in that spot is what I'm going to review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, episode 568. Could you believe it? 568 episodes. It has been quite some time. But we're going to keep doing this until we are old and gray. So let's spin and see what we review the next episode, shall we? Number 3, Goku Rokage. This one is one which a lot of people have been asking me about. Is it going to be good? We're going to find out. But as usual, hope you enjoy this episode. I am your host, Zan. I am Gonzville. I'll catch you guys next time, and keep reading manga. See you later.